What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Android application development video in Android Studio. In this video we are going to create Tic Tac game online application, so we can play the Tic Tac online. So it will have following feature: we can play offline. So in this way we have the winner, so we can start game any number of time. We have the play online function, so we can create game online, and from the another phone we can join the game online. So if we put the ID and click on join game online, we are joined and we can start the game. If we click on start game, so you can see it is online and it is real time. So here it is saying your turn. So O, we have X, and we have, let's say here, now it is X turn. Here it is O turn. Over here it is showing O has won. Here it is saying you have won. In this way we'll create the online game which will be real time using the Firebase Firestore. We'll build this from scratch using Kotlin. So let's get started with new Android Studio project. You can see over here I have this new version of Android Studio, that is Giraffe. Click on new project and select empty views activity. Previously we used to select empty activity, but in this updated version we will get the Jetpack Compose along with this. So we have to develop the app with XML layout, that's why I am selecting empty views activity. Click on next, give the application name, let's say Tic Tac online. Give the package name, select language at Kotlin, and minimum SDK you can select any one, but I am selecting this one. Build configuration language, let it be recommended one. Click on finish. So here our project is loading. We don't have anything, we just have hello world over here. And let's go to design, say hello to this hello world and delete it. Let's make this a linear layout so that we will make a design for main activity. So we'll add some text view and button over here. So let's add a text view. Wrap content, text will be our app name, text style will be bold, text size will be 28 sp, layout margin will be 8 dp, padding will be 8 dp, and we'll center it by making the linear layout gravity as center. We'll give margin to linear layout 16 dp and set the orientation to vertical so that we can add more items. Below this text view I'll add a button, width match parent, height wrap content, ID will be play offline button, text will be play offline, layout margin and padding will be 88 dp. So main activity design is done for now. For now we are only adding play offline button. So let's close this main activity and go to main activity.kt, and here we will use view binding so that we can directly access all the items in the layout. So to enable view binding we'll go to Gradle script, build at Gradle. Here after this Kotlin options we'll do build features. Inside build features view binding will be true. Now you will click on sync now. Close this. Now we can directly access the view binding. So let's init the variable. So here we will do let init var binding. It will be type of activity main binding which is generated automatically. So here binding equals to activity main binding dot inflate. We'll use layout inflator. So in this way we'll get the binding, and here in set content view we will bind it as a root, that means all the element. If you click over here it will take us to this linear layout. So we have this layout binded to our main activity. Now from main activity we can directly use those items. So for binding dot, as you can see we have play offline button dot set on click listener. So on click of the play offline button we'll create a function over here, function create offline game. So we'll just call this function over here, create offline game. Also another method I will create, start game. So in this start game we will create another activity and we'll call that activity. So let's go and create another activity, new activity, empty views activity, and here we will name it as game activity. So this will create a layout also. Click on finish. You can see over here we have this game activity. Now we'll design this also, but before that we'll call from main activity that start activity. We'll pass intent where main activity will be this, comma game activity class.java. So import the intent, and from this create offline game we will just start game. So if you launch the application as of now, so you can see it is our main activity. If we click on this it will take us to this game activity. We don't have anything. So now let's design the game activity. So go to activity game.xml, split. So here we will do the minimal design. So let's change it to linear layout so that we can arrange them vertically. Orientation vertical. So first thing, I will add the text view. Let's copy it from here. From main activity, I will just copy this and paste it over here. And we will add gravity will be center. Now below this text view, I will add another text view. So text view width will be match parent, height will be wrap content, gravity will be center, text size will be 32 sp, layout margin will be 10 dp, text style will be bold. Let's add text for now, game not started, and letter spacing will be 0.04. Let's give color also. You can choose any color. It is red color. You can click over here, make it green also. And last, we will give the ID to this as game status text. So this will be game status. Now below this text view, we will make a grid layout for the tic-tac-toe. So grid layout, width will be wrap content, height will be wrap content, column count will be 3. And inside this grid layout, we will add the buttons. So first button will be button, width will be match parent, height will be wrap content, margin will be 8 dp, text size will be 60 sp. Let's add a tools text. We don't want actual text, so let's say X. So in this way our button will be ready. We have to add 2 more fields, that will be tag. Let's say this tag will be 0. ID of this button will be ID button 0. So we'll make 9 items, so that 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So we'll copy this, paste it below. It will be 1 1. In the same way you can make 9. So I will do this fast. 2, tag will also be 2 3 3 4. So from 0 it will go up to 8. We have changed everything, and here in grid layout, let's say gravity will be center, so that it will come on center. Now we'll add a button over here below this grid layout. So I'll minimize this as of now. Below this grid layout, I will add a button, wrap content, layout gravity will be center, margin will be 20 dp, and text will be start game, and ID will be start game button. So in this way we have designed minimal layout. Here we'll show the game status, whose turn is now. We'll declare winner, we will declare draw, and on click of this button we'll start the game. So let's go to game activity now. Here let's create binding. So let init var binding activity game binding. So it is automatically generated. In the same way, binding equals to activity game binding dot inflate layout inflator binding dot root. Now we are done with the binding. Now we will set on-click listener to all those buttons. So instead of setting everything functionally, here what we will do, we will implement app compat activity as well as view dot on-click listener, so that we can have one method over here. If you hover over here, you will get implement members on click. So this on-click method will be implemented. So we have to set on-click listener to all of the buttons. So binding dot button 0 dot set on-click listener. Just pass this so that it will come to this on click. Do it for all 9 buttons. Also we have start button. So start game button that set on click listener. Here we'll pass a function. So here we will create another function that will be start game, and we'll call that start game from here. So as of now we will make this only. Now we have to create a game data. So that will help us to store the data of the game. So let's create a class here, Kotlin class, that will be game data. Also we'll create another class that will be game model. So let's first define game model. Here we'll make it a data class, game model, and inside this parenthesis we will add some value, like first value will be game ID of string, so that we can store the ID. Let's give it by default -1. We will have field position, so that we can get which position is filled in this layout. So it will be 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. We have 9 positions. So here we will define a mutable list of string, and we'll give the value mutable list of 9 empty string. So you have to make 9 empty string, so that it will be empty as first. 1 2 3 6 7 8 and 9. So we have created the field position. Later we'll fill it with, let's say, X. or O. So it will be like this. At first it will be empty. We'll also create a winner that will be of a string. By default it will be empty. We'll create game status also, so that we can store the game status, but for this I will create a enum. So enum class game status. Here we'll define some status. So first status will be created, joined, in progress, and we can say finished when it is finished. So these 4 status we'll use. So here we can use the type as game status and value as game status dot created by default. So here comma is missing. Now after this we need current player also. So which player is playing, we'll do it random. So I will assign a string randomly. So we need X or O. We can give X also, but every time it should not be X, it should be random. So for that I will use random.nextInt. So I will create array first, array of, we have 2 values that will be X and O. So in this array of, we will either assign 0 or either assign 1. So for 0 and 1 I will use random.nextInt until 2. So it will generate either 0 or either 1. So it will give it to array, and from this array we will get either X, either O. So it will be random every time. So here comma is missing. Now we'll go to game data. Here we will use singleton feature and live data. So for this game data I will make an object so that we can use it as singleton, and here we will create private variable game model of type mutable live data. We game model mutable live data. If we only give live data we can't change it. By making mutable live data we can change it. So we'll expose one variable that will be game model, which will be live data of game model, and it will return this game model. So whenever we want to access game model, we'll access from this game data dot game model. Now here we will create one function that will save the game data. So let's say save game model. So model, it will take game model and just make this game model dot post value this new model. So whenever we'll receive the game model from save game model, we will make changes to this mutable live data so that it will immediately react to the UI. Our game model and game data is done. Let's go to game activity now and create a private variable over here. So it will be private var game model of type game model, that will be nullable, and assign it null at first. First thing we will do, we will get this game model from this game data dot game model. So what we will do here, we'll observe that. So game data dot game model dot observe. Since we have live data, we can observe that, so it will change the UI immediately. Here we will first assign our game model to the received game model, that is it, and we'll set it to the UI. So let's create a method to set it to UI. So UI set UI. Here we'll call set UI. We have already assigned game model, so we can go over here and game model dot apply, so it will get all the values. Now we can directly assign data to the UI. So let's go to the UI. So first we have to assign the text to this and to the buttons. So let's first assign to the buttons. So for button 0, binding dot button 0 dot text will be from the game data. So this game model we have over here, there we have field position. So this field position is a list. So field position 0 value. So first value it will give it to button 0. Same way we have to give it up to 8 and 8. We have 8 buttons and we'll give the each position to each values. So in this way, if we have values over here, let's say in game data, if we have here X and here O, it will get in 0 it will be X, here it will be O. So in this way other will be empty. So let's undo this. So it will fill all the buttons. Now for the game status text, what we will do is binding dot game status text dot text will be, here we will use when case. So it is like switch case. So when the value of game status, so we'll switch. Here we'll check when the value of game status is game status dot created. If it is created, we'll return something that will be string, so that it will assign to game status text. Give the game ID. So game ID will concat the game ID. So when it is in created mode, it will just show the game ID. Second case will be game status dot joined. In joined, what we will do? In joined we will just give message click on start game. So if game status is in progress, means it is started already. Here we'll show the turn. So we can say current player turn. So it will show X turn or O turn. Now when it is finished, here in finished, what we will do? So in finished, we will check two things. If we have the winner, means if winner is not empty, we'll just return winner 1. So we'll return X1 or O1. If winner is not there, then it means it is draw. That's it. So it will show the game status here according to the all the statuses over here. Now on start game, if we run it now, let's say if we run it, you can see over here, if we click on this, means we have the UI correctly, but we are not setting the data, that's why it is not coming anything. So let's go to main activity. Here we have just created the start game. That means we have called the game activity, but we have not assigned any data over here. So in create offline game, what we will do first, here we will create a game model and we'll assign it to this game data. Here we have to save the game model. So here we will call game data dot save game model. We'll create a new game model, and inside this we have to assign some values. So go to game model. Let's see, game ID will be -1 by default in offline. Field position will be empty. Winner will be empty. Current player will also be random. So game status only we will change. So in main activity, game status will be game status dot joined. So in offline game, we will directly join the game because two players are joined in the same phone. So now if you run the application, if you click on play offline, now you can see it is in joined status, because if you go to game activity here, if it is joined, it will show click on start game. It is showing click on start game. That means we have joined the game. Now on start button, we are calling this start game. If you go to this start game, we will start the game. How we will start the game? We'll just update that game data. So for that, what we will do, from the available game model, we will do apply. So here we will call that, let's just create another function to just update the game data. So update game data. Here we will call game data dot save game model, that we will pass from here model. Here also we'll get that model as game model. So it will be just updating the game data. So from start button, we will update this game data by assigning the values. So we'll call update game data. Here we have to pass game model. So here we will pass all the values to the new game model from the old game model. So what we will do, we will game ID will be the same game ID. Game status we will change it to game status dot in progress. So whenever we click on start button, it will just create a new game model with the original game ID, and the status will be in progress. That means it should show now current players plus turn. That means X turn or O turn. If we click on start game, let's run it and test. Play offline. So here we have joined status. Click on start game. So you can see it is started and it is showing the O turn. On click up button, we are not doing anything, that's why it is crashing, but we are done with the start game. So now what we will do, on click of this button, so here what we will do, on click of any button, it will assign X or O. Here we have game model dot apply. So here we will check something. So let's check first if game status is not in progress. Let's say if it is not in progress. If it is not in progress, that means the game it is not started yet. Show the toast dot make text application context will show game not started. Length will be short dot show, and will return, because on click should not happen if it is not started. That means if game is not started, we are directly returning. If game is started, that means game is started. In progress, let's say. Now here we will take the clicked position. So if we remember, we have assigned the tag over here in this grid layout. So here we have tag 0 for 0 button, tag 1 for 1 button, tag 2 for second button. Same we will get those tag. So how we will get those tag? We have this on click function and we have the view, which view is clicked. So we have this nullable, that's why give view dot tag. It will return the tag. So it will return us object. So make it as a string first, then convert to int. So it will get 0, 1 or 2. So we'll assign that value to a value clicked position. So whichever tag is clicked, it will assign value to clicked position. So here we will check if the click position is already clicked or not. Means if user 1 has clicked it, user 2 should not able to click it. So how we will check that? If you go to game model, here we have field position. At first all are empty, but later it will be X, O. So if someone clicked on this, it should not change this. So for that, what we will do, here we will check if field position, the clicked position index dot is empty. So if it is empty only, then we will make the click. So for that, we will assign the value field position clicked position equals to current player. So here it will assign the current player, that means X or O. So it will assign the current player to this mutable list, so that it will immediately show in the UI. Now what we have to do, we have to switch the player. After clicking, it should switch the player. If it is X turn, it should be O. If it is O turn, it should be X. So for that, what we will do, now current player, we will change it to if current player equals to X, then it should be O, else it should be X. So that means it will switch the current player. If it is X, it will be O. If it is O, it will be X. That's it. Now we have to update the game data, because every time we will click, we will update the game data. So update game data, and model will be this, whatever the updated game data it will be. So let's run it and test it. So here if you click on play offline, now it is in joined state. If I start game, it is X turn. So if I click anything here, it is changed it to X. If I click over here, it is O. If you click, if you click on already clicked value, it won't work. If you click here, it will switch the user. So it is working. Now as you can see, game is already started, but we have a start game button over here. It should be invisible. So whenever the game ends, it should be again visible. So for that, we'll write the logic, and also we are not declaring any winner, so we'll declare winner also. So in this case, there will be a winner, that is X. So whenever the status is created, so first we'll make the start button visible, so that it should be visible every time. Visibility is equal to view.visible. Whenever we created the game, it should be invisible. So when joined, it will be automatically visible from here. When in progress, it will be invisible. So when it is finished, it will be automatically visible from here. So this is done for start button. If you test over here, click on start game, it is gone. So now we will check for the winner. So we'll write the logic for the winner. So let's create a function for that. After this update game data, check for winner. So how do we check for the winner? If we go over here, you can see how we will determine the winner. If we have X over here, or over here, or over here, or over here, and the diagonally, if they are the same value, if the button contains same values, that means it is the winning case. So we have some winning position like 0, 1, 2. If 0, 1, 2 has same values, that is winning position. 3, 4, 5. If 3, 4, 5 has same values, that means winning. In the same way, 0, 4, and 8. Diagonally, if 0, 4, and 8 has same values, that means it is also the winning case. So we'll write all the winning case over here with winning position. We'll create array of, so it will array of another array, that will be int array of. So here we'll assign the values like 0, 1, 2. So 0, 1, 2 is the winning position. In the same way, we have 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and like this we have 0, 3, 6, 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8. So 0, 3, 6, 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8. Also the diagonal. So for diagonal, 0, 4, 8, and 2, 4, 6. So that's it. These all are the winning position. So how we will check? We'll go to field position and check if all winning position has same value. So for that, first we will get the game model dot apply. Here we'll get the values. Here we'll check for I in winning position. We'll go to winning position. So here we will check its values. First we will get the int array of 0, 1, 2. So here we will check first, let's say if, first we will check field position, where inside we will check, so this is the I, that is array. So inside the I array, we have the position 0, 1, and 2. So here we will check if I0 equals to field position I1. That means if the value of I0 and I1 are equal, and also if the values of I1 and I2 are equal, then this is the winning position. So we will set it to win. So and field position, so we'll check if all three are equal, and also we'll check if it is not empty, because at first they all are empty, it will return true. So we'll also check field position, any one of values dot is not empty. So if it is not empty and the values are equal, that means we have the winner. So if this condition is passed, we'll set the game status to finished. Game is finished. So winner will be whatever the value has, field position I 0. So whatever the value it has, that means whatever the value all three has, that will be the winner. So we have declared the winner over here in this for loop. So out of this for loop, what we will do, we'll update the game data with this. So we have updated the game status and winner, and we'll update the game data. That means the winner will be declared. So we are done for the winner declaration. So if we check for the winner, we'll call this check for winner from on click. So every time user click on the button, it will check for winner. So here in on click function, we are updating the game data. Before that, we'll call check for winner. Every time we'll call it. So let's run it and test it for now. Play offline, start game. So that means winner is declared, that is X, and we have start game. That means game is finished. If I start again, now O has won, that means it is done. So but we are not done with the draw method. If you see over here, the game should be finished. If you go back here in check for winner, we'll also check that. So here for game draw, we will check that if all the values are filled, that means none of the values are empty. So for that we have shortcut function that is field position none. We'll check in each iterator it dot is empty. So if none are empty, means it will return boolean. So if none of the values are empty, means all are filled. So game status will be game status dot finished. Winner we will not decide because there is no winner. That means it is draw. So here it will go in this finished and it will show draw. So let's run it again. Click on play offline, start game. So if we see over here, we have draw, game is finished. That means we can restart the game. So we have successfully developed our offline game. If we click over here, if we click any of the buttons, it will show game not started. Now we start game. It is randomly assigned the turn. So it is O turn, let's say. So here X1, here O1, and draw is also working. So start game also working and everything is working over here. So our Tic Tac game is ready and it is working as expected. So that's all for this video. In next video, we'll implement play online feature in this application. We'll use Firebase for that. So we'll use Firebase Firestore to store this game data. As of now, we are storing it locally as singleton. So by integrating Firebase, we will insert this data in the Firebase database, and every time we'll play, we'll get the data. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you have any doubts and queries, please comment below. I will reply for you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button before going. See you in the next video. Bye bye.